want to share with you a different story about a guy who was a tax collector. His name is Levi. His regular name, his Greek name, was Matthew. And as a tax gatherer, he wasn't liked. In fact, he was deeply hated. Luke chapter 5, verse 27 through 28, it says, after this, Jesus went out and saw a tax collector. I want you to circle that phrase. Saw a tax collector by the name of Levi sitting in his tax booth. Follow me, Jesus said. And Levi got up, left everything, and followed him. I don't want to frighten you, but tomorrow is the deadline for your taxes. In biblical times, tax collectors, they were hated folks. You know why? Because the Roman government employed Jewish people to collect taxes from the Jews. And so the Jewish people looked at their Jewish tax collectors like they were traitors. You come to me, I'm a fellow Jew. You're asking me to give taxes to the Romans? Who do you think you are? I mean, they thought that Levi was the most terrible, the most horrible person. So not only was he a traitor, they also thought of him as a thief. And the reason why they thought of these tax collectors as thieves is because that's how they made their living. Tax collectors didn't just collect taxes, they took a little bit more from the people to put in their own pocket so they could make a living. So they were stealing from their own people to make a living, to give it to the Roman government who was holding them in slavery. And they didn't like Levi at all. They hated his guts. In fact, he would have been considered a social outcast. He would not have been invited to very many Jewish parties, because he was a traitor, he was a thief. And yet, Jesus, as he's walking along, I mean, imagine how many people he sees along the way, you know. Wow, lots of people. Oh, Levi, come follow me. He fixed his eyes on Levi, the traitor, the thief, the social outcast, the guy who everybody hated. Jesus looked at Levi. Why didn't he find somebody a little bit better? Wasn't there anybody better around there than Levi? I mean, was he the best that there was? No. No, he wasn't the best. Actually, he was like the worst. And yet, God saw in Levi something that nobody else could see. Everybody else, all they could see is, he's a thief, he's a traitor, let's get away from this jerk. And Jesus looks at him and goes, oh, come follow me. Because he saw in him his potential to be a Christ follower. I want to kind of illustrate this for you a little bit this morning, help you see what I'm talking about. I want you to be able to see from God's perspective and how we see things so much differently than the way God sees them. All right? So I need a volunteer, somebody who can help me out. Come on up here, Ralph. I want you to stand right there in the middle. Face me. Go ahead and move back a little bit. Not all the way so you don't fall off the edge. Now, I don't want you to look at this. I just want you to hold it. Okay? All right? You got it? Now, don't say anything yet. Can you see this? Can move this way a little bit, Ralph, so everybody, no. Turn this way with me. No, this, keep it going this way. There you go. Keep going. Nope. over here, over here, over here. Can you see it now? Down? You keep yours where you can you see it? Can you see it? Don't say what it is. All right? So follow me. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Can you see it? It's okay if you can't read it. Can you see it? Here's what I want you to understand. What you're seeing and what Ralph is seeing right now is the way we look at the world. This is how we see things, backwards. We're backward people. You know why we're backward? Because of sin, because of our human nature. We don't see things the way God sees them. All right? But here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put this down. And I'm going to take this. And now do you see what it is? What does it say?
Potential.
Potential. What does it say? This is how God sees us. See, we're looking at things in a totally different way than God sees things. We see them backwards. And when God looks at our life, he sees nothing but potential in our life. That's what he sees. And because he sees that in your life and my life, we need to see that in each other's lives. Does that make sense? Thanks a lot, Ralph. So look what it says in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 26 through 31. Paul said this, "Consider your own call, brothers and sisters. Not many of you were wise, by human standards. Not many of you were powerful, Not many were of noble birth, But God chose what is foolish in the world to shame the wise. God chose what is weak in the world to shame the strong. God chose what is low and despised in the world, things that are not, to reduce to nothing things that are, so that no one might boast in the presence of God. He is the source of your life in Christ Jesus, who became for us wisdom from God and the righteousness and sanctification and redemption, in order that, as it is written, let the one who boasts, what? Boast in the Lord.